Hello friends, in the previous video, we learned how to define functions and call the functions. Today, we are covering another important topic that is nothing but functions argument. Arguments make function more flexible and powerful. In this video, we will understand three types of arguments. First, positional argument, second, keyword argument, third, default argument, and we all see them in detailed manner along with a practical example as well. Let's right now talk about functions argument. Function argument are the value that we pass the function as an input. A function can work without an argument, but with argument it becomes dynamic. In simple terms, if I talk about function argument, argument tells the function that what data it should use to perform a specific task. So this is just an overview over here. In the later stage, we will see its types and the detailed practical examples along with each. Let's right now talk about the types of function argument. Among that types, the first type is named as positional argument. So I have write a small code of snippet over the screen. Just bear with me. I will explain that how it exactly works. In this right now scenario, I will explain in the overview thing, and in the latter stage, I will explain them in a practical approach as well. So let's see on the screen right now. In positional argument, order is very important. So basically, I define a code like over here, a function which is taking two parameters as an input, name and age, and a simple inside a function body. I'm printing using the f string that we already studied in the previous videos. And similarly, I'm printing that function via an f string. Then, by using the function name, I'm calling that function and passing certain parameters over there. So here, as you can see, the name is the first parameter and age is the second one. So that's why the whatever the parameter when we are calling the function, at that time the first value which we pass to the name variable that will get assigned to it, and in the second variable what is the second value which will be passed from the function call, that will get assigned to the age variable. If the order is wrong, the output will be incorrect. So this how just an overview I will explain over here about the positional arguments. Let's right now talk about the another important type of function argument, that is keyword argument. In keyword argument, we explicitly mention parameter names. Here, order does not matters. Python automatically understands which value belongs to which parameter. This makes the code more readable and safe. And for the same overview point of view, I have shown a small code of snippet over here over the screen. In the later stage, I will explain it in the detailed practical approach as well. Let's right now talk about the last type of function argument, which is default argument. A default argument means if the user does not pass any value, then the function uses a default value. For the same, I have shown a small code of snippet over the screen. Just check that or focus over there. I write define greet a name equal to guest, and inside that function body I use a print a statement to print the respective values. And after that I call that function by using a greet its name and pass the parameter in the first line. But in the second line, as you can see, I just call the function without passing any parameter over there. In that case specifically, if we do not pass any value to the function to get evaluated and print something for us, at that time whatever the default value we have already assigned over here in the current example as in guest. So if we don't pass any value at that time, the Python will pick up the default value and show the output to us. This is just an overview over here right now I explain. In the later stage, I will explain them in a practical approach as well with a detailed understanding. Let's right now talk about the various type of functional arguments like positional, keyword and default arguments Why and practical example we'll see in this video right now. So specifically, I'm going to write a small code of snippet over here, and then I will explain a step by step with a detailed approach point of view in a line by line manner about the things that how the positional, keyword and default arguments works in Python. So basically, let me just write a small code of snippet over here, and then I will explain you the things that I'm going to use along with the functions argument specifically. So let me just define a function over here. As we already know that if you want to define a function in Python, then we use the def keyword. Then I want to define a function as like a greeting someone. So I'm using a greet user. That is a function name that I want to use it. And inside that function, in the parenthesis bracket, in the default way, I want to assign some values. Okay. Let me just bear with me. I will explain the thing, what I'm doing in the detailed manner. Just bear with me. Let me just write a code and then step by step I will explain the thing. So I'm putting a name variable with a default value as like guest over here. And then I'm using another variable like age and defining as like 12 over here. And in the after colon in the function body, I want to print something. So specifically, I want to print like this by using the f string. I want to print the name of the user and then his age or her age by like this format using the f string. Okay, is that simple only. So then, as we have already just seen in the previous video, this how we can define a function body. But as we have just defined it, we can use it by calling them. So I will explain one by one with the different type of calls over here right now. So first call, I'm using the function name. Here I'm passing directly with an order sequence over here. Order sequence in the sense I will explain just a sec. Let me just write it completely. Greet. In the second call, I'm just going to put as like this age equals to 56 and then name equals to Python. And then at last, I'm just going to call the function without any parameters over here. So see, let me just explain to you right now what I have done over here. If you see over here, I have defined a function with some parameter in default. Okay. And then I'm using a print statement to print the respective variables that I'm taking as an input in the function body, name and age. So see over here right now, in the first call, when we are trying to make a call with the function, at that time, we are directly maintaining the order, like here it is name. So that's why I put a Python over here. And then there is a variable that is age. So that's why I put a age in the integer format over here. So this type of operation, when we are trying to perform in the order format, some order we have to follow while calling the function, then it is known as a positional arguments in Python for a calling a function. So this is how we can call a function with a specific order or a sequence, you can say it in the simple term. So this is the thing that we use by a positional arguments. Like the positions are fixed that we have to follow a certain sequence. So this type of call, if we are making to a function with some defined parameters, then the call is called as positional arguments. Okay. Now in the second line, as you can see in this format, I won't followed any type of sequence over here. Just I have used my age variable, which I have defined in the function parenthesis body, and then the name variable. And according to my choice, I just assign the values that knows variable, like age as 56 and name as Python over here. So basically, this type of call in functions argument is leads to known as keywords argument. We have defined already the function with the parameters with the keywords. Now, regardless of the keywords that we are going to call the functions. Like I can change the age value, I can change the name value as well, according to my choice or the preferences that is required at that time. Here, in the keyword arguments, we do not need to follow any type of sequence. Just we have to define a variable that we have already defined in the function parenthesis, and we can assign the value, and that value will get evaluated in the result for us. Now let's talk about the third call. Here you can see I have not passed any type of values over here or any parameters over here, but still it will execute properly. Why? Because there is a concept called a default argument in Python. Okay, so you are getting confused right now. What is default argument, buddy, right now? So see, at the time of defining a function, here whatever the parameters that I have already defined with some values, that is nothing but a default parameters, a default argument for the Python. So see, if you pass nothing to the code, nothing to the function, if that function contain some parameters in defaults, then at that time Python get to know if is nothing called from the function side, from the user side, then whatever the default parameter that I have with me, that I need to execute in front of the user. So that's how, if we pass nothing or the function call, then in default whatever the parameter that we use in the function definition, that get evaluated and that get print for us as we are printing over here right now. So it will get printed for us. So let me just save the code and show you the output as well right now. Python, and the name of the file is argument over here. See, as the way that I have already said to you, it executed in the similar manner. See, it print hello Python, you are 25-year-old. See, at the time of declaration, it automatically adjusts the order and get the name as in Python over here and age as in 25 over here. Then in the second line, as you have like defined the variable by using the keyword arguments, regardless of the order that we do not need to follow over here. So it still matches the sequence in the print statement, and print the things in the similar manner as well over here. Hello Python, and you are 56-year-old. See, the value is same over here. Now coming to the last call over here, when I'm making the function call with an empty parameters, not passing anything or not passing any type of values to the function, at that time still it print hello guess you are 12-year-old over here. How? By because the function has a default parameters. That's why it print hello guess you are old 12-year-olds. So this is how we can use the three types of arguments in Python and make our code very reusable and modular to understand in better way. So friends, today we learn about the function argument and also see their various type like positional, keyword and default argument too, and also perform the various type of practical examples as well over here. So in the next video, we will be exploring the return statement and the variable scope in detail and also see them in the practical approach as well.
If you found this helpful, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and press the bell icon. Stay tuned for more Python tutorial. See you in the next video.